U.S. President spinner battle, and it looks like Thomas Jefferson, let me pull this up, will carry that's better, and Jefferson will win Alabama because he was spin. Now for Alaska, we're going in alphabetical order. We'll go to John Adams. And I'll explain this as we go along. Arizona will go to Thomas Jefferson. Remember, 270 to win, but even if somebody hits 270, we're still going to play just to see who will come like in second in the rankings and stuff for a potential future series. James Monroe will win Arkansas. And the winner of the big one of California will be Thomas Jefferson, it looks like, I think. Unless it... Thomas Jefferson in California. Colorado. We'll go to, I want to say Monroe, but it might go to Madison. No, Monroe. Monroe in Colorado. Washington and Madison have yet to be on the board, and Connecticut's the final C state. And Monroe appears will take Connecticut as well. Moving on to Delaware. We'll go to John Adams. And to Florida. Will he get on the board? No, it goes to Jefferson again. This thing's really liking him. And another big state of Georgia. We'll go to James Madison. Finally, Madison's on the board. Washington's still at none. As we enter the 1H state of Hawaii, which will go to James Madison. More stuff about this will be explained as this series goes on, or as this video goes on. And will Washington get on the board with Idaho? Yes. Moving on to another key state, 19 electoral votes. Illinois will go to Washington. Indiana. That's going to be another decent-sized state, 11 electoral votes for John Adams. Iowa, 6 electoral votes at stake for whoever will win this. And it is going to be Jefferson again. Kansas, 6 electoral votes to James Monroe. Moving on to Kentucky. Which will go into the Adams column. Louisiana, another 8 electoral votes at stake to George Washington. The standings right now: Washington with 31 electoral votes, Adams at 25, Jefferson at 110, Madison at 20, Monroe at 29. This is going to be a long video. Maine at large will go to George Washington, now. Will Washington win Maine's first, second, or both? He will win Maine's second. Now, so the spinner will choose Maine's first. James Madison will take the first. And Maryland as well will go to Madison. Massachusetts to Madison. Michigan, Madison. I am becoming a little bit suspicious. If I just spin it, go back, and then go back, it'll land on the same candidate each time. No, meaning Minnesota goes to Monroe. Moving on to the state of Mississippi. We'll go narrowly to George Washington. And then we have Missouri, or Missouri, however you want to say it, going to John Adams. Adams still in last place, by the way, as he can tie it up if he wins Montana. And he does. Now they're tied for last, or tied for fourth. Him and Monroe. Moving on to Nebraska at large. John Adams. Now, heads he wins Nebraska's first congressional district, which Adams does. Heads he'll also win their second, which he does. Heads he'll win Nebraska's third, which he does. And then Nevada will go to George Washington. Maybe, yes. And New Hampshire will be another Jefferson. It's actually been a while since we've seen his name pop up. But he is still massively in the lead. More than double James Madison, or I think exactly double. And New Jersey, another big state, 14 electoral votes go to George Washington. For New Mexico, I'll show you, look at the color of the spinner wheel. This thing, the circle that surrounds it. So I can pretty much tell sometimes ahead of time. But New Mexico goes to Jefferson. New York, another state, 28 electoral votes in the Madison column. North Carolina. There's New York, North Carolina, and Ohio. 3 out of the 4, and all 4 are decent sized, and that goes to Madison. The small one of the 4 is North Dakota. It's as small as it gets, 3 electoral votes. And those 3 go to Adams. Ohio, yes, Ohio. I almost wanted to say it was Oklahoma next, but it's Ohio. Goes to Madison. It's likely both Thomas Jefferson and James Madison advanced to round 2 of this, episode 1. Oklahoma goes to Madison. Moving on to Oregon, 8 electoral votes. Going to Washington. Monroe needs to pick up something big like Pennsylvania, Texas, and probably some others in order not to be eliminated. And has to hope that other people don't get it, like Washington. Because he got Oregon and Pennsylvania. Rhode Island, 4 electoral votes up for grabs, and all 4 of theirs will be going to John Adams. South Carolina. Going to George Washington. Now it's looking like Monroe will be eliminated, but whoever wins Texas is likely safe for this round. And who will be the one that's safe? Well, likely safe. Jefferson, of course. It's Jefferson. No, he's not over 270. He's only at 170. But can he get it this round? No, he cannot. Nobody can get it. But Utah can be grabbed, and it's grabbed by James Madison. I have a feeling I may have misclicked on one. I'll go back and rewatch, and I'll let you know in episode 2. Oh my god, my thing's only at 16%, my Chromebook. Hopefully that's enough for at least it'll be another 15 minutes. Madison will carry Vermont. And Washington will get his home state of Virginia. Will Washington get Washington? Yes. Now will Washington get Washington, D.C.? No. It was close, though. West Virginia's 4 electoral votes will go to John Adams. For a sec, I thought it could flip over to Washington, but it's not gonna. Hold on, because is Monroe out? If Monroe gets 13, that puts him at 55, and they're both. And it's just gonna be a race. Madison, though, will get Wisconsin, and Monroe will be eliminated. But can he get Wyoming before being eliminated? Yes. Now, of this, Washington has 124, Adams 55, Jefferson 170, Madison 144, and Monroe 45. And so James Monroe has to go. Nobody can get to 270 with this, but we'll go west to east for this. So Wyoming first. So Wyoming gets back to back. This time it'll go for Madison. Colorado. We'll go to George Washington. Kansas. We'll go to it's going to be close, but I think Jefferson, yep. Minnesota goes to George Washington. Arkansas goes to George Washington. Oh no, we got Washington. DC goes to Thomas Jefferson. And last but not least, Connecticut, 7 electoral votes at stake, will go to, it looks like, George Washington again. Now after this round, Washington has 157, Adams has 55, Jefferson 179, Madison 147. I think you guys can already tell who's going to be eliminated, but it'll be John Adams. Now we'll go this way to this way. Oh, and because Adams got all of Nebraska is now one state, but Rhode Island's first. If this goes to Adams, it'll be respun, but now it's going to be the official spin. And it goes to James Madison. It looked like it would land on him anyway, so. And then we have Delaware. Which will go to James Madison. So. I'll turn the volume up. Next one will be West Virginia. Then Kentucky. I'm going to say Indiana. I thought Missouri was further east, actually, but either way, Indiana. Now for Missouri. Alaska's actually the easternmost state, so I forgot about them. I'll do them after Missouri. But Jefferson. So Alaska. I forgot about them. And then Nebraska before North Dakota. And again, all 5 are at stake. Because those are the ones that Adams had. Madison. I was going to say, I want to say Madison, but it's like ultra close. Now we have North Dakota, which just so happens to also go to Madison. The final one of this round goes to Montana. That goes to Jefferson. Alright, after this, Washington 171, Jefferson 201, Madison 166. So Madison narrowly, very narrowly, gets eliminated. Hey, blue and black like the dress. We're gonna go south to north, so Hawaii. Goes to George Washington. Now they're both closing in on 270. Georgia goes to George Washington. Oklahoma. To Jefferson. North Carolina. Will Washington pull off this comeback? Maybe. I think this puts him in the lead. No, it doesn't, but close. If he wins Utah, he'll be in the lead. I think that'd be the first time Jefferson was down today. Yeah, because he took Alabama. And yeah, it wasn't Washington. West Virginia. We'll go to Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson. Maryland. Washington. Then Delaware, the last southern state. We'll go to George Washington. Oh, oops. Well, I did an Ohio moment before we did Ohio. I mean, it was just opening up a new tab when I didn't mean to, but still an Ohio moment. And who will win that Ohio moment? George Washington. All of 5 of Nebraska's electoral votes will go to Thomas Jefferson. I'm going to be honest, I was actually kind of hoping Jefferson would win this. And it looked really good for a while. Now it doesn't as much. But, well, I was, my first choice, of course, was James Monroe, but he got out. Jefferson will win Wyoming. But is it really anything anymore? New York. Jefferson, I think he needs this to win. 28 electoral votes. Yeah, because I think that might put Washington up over the edge. And he does win it. Would it have? Let's just see. Yes, it would have. So I'm going to say Michigan. Then Rhode Island. Michigan. That will go to Washington. Rhode Island, then Wisconsin. So Washington will carry Rhode Island. It's actually looking like a tie could be possible. Although, if Washington wins Wisconsin, Washington wins the whole thing. And he does. Yeah, he's over 270, so the rest is just for fun. Massachusetts. That'll go to Jefferson. Vermont. 3 electoral votes for George Washington. Oh, I forgot that Jefferson also would have taken that, but it's too late now. Anyway, Maine won. That goes to Jefferson. And lastly, North Dakota. Goes to George Washington. Before we do what I was going to do. Now, who wins the whole thing? This is just a ceremonial thing. Yep. And so we have official spinners there. Thomas Jefferson, after an epic game, becomes eliminated, and Washington will be the winner in a comeback victory, almost eliminated in round 1. Now will advance to the next season. Well, I shouldn't say next season. Next part. Gets to advance to part 2. Or not even part 2. Maybe round 2, yeah. Or I should say round 2A. So the one he almost lost in was round 1A.